Am I the a-hole for refusing to have anything to do with my cheating dad or the baby he made while cheating? Last year, my mom found out my dad was cheating on her with his friend's sister, and the friend's sister was pregnant. I, 20 male, was in college and found out about it after mom had kicked him out and filed for divorce. My dad has not accepted the end of his marriage to mom, and even now that the divorce is final, he's still trying to convince her to take him back. Between finding out and hearing from both of my parents, I knew I was done with dad after that. I told him he was disgusting and that he needed to not contact me. I blocked his number and carried on with my life without him. Even when I heard the baby was born, I didn't have a change of heart. This didn't change when I was told dad had custody of the baby either, and the baby's mom was out of the equation. A big part of this was because my dad was really trying to harass my mom into taking him back, and he even showed up with a baby at her job and her house and tried to say that we could all be a family again, only with an extra kid. I hated dad for doing that to her, and she was stressed. My dad never used social media before, so I didn't have him blocked, but a few weeks ago I did block his new account when he reached out to ask me to have a relationship with him and the baby. I replied with F off before blocking him, but then he suddenly had 2 more accounts, and on the last one, he was like, "Please, I love you and we're still family, blah blah blah." He said we needed each other, and it didn't look like mom would take him back. I told him he didn't deserve it, and why would she want to raise his kid with someone else? And why would I want to know his kid with someone else? I told him he needs to accept that he lost me, and there's no changing that, because to do that, he would need to go back and not cheat. Then I blocked the final account. That was meant to be the end of it, but my uncle, dad's brother, decided to speak in defense of dad. He told me dad was a bad husband but a good dad, and that should count more for me. He told me whether I like it or not, I have a little half-sister now, and need to think about being in her life. He asked me to consider what would happen if I got the call tomorrow that dad died. I told him I'd carry on living my life and would refuse to be a part of that. That ticked him off, and he told me I'm being overly harsh about it. I think he's defending my dad too much, and I told him that. He said dad cheated, but he didn't physically harm anyone. I pointed out that he could have caught anything while cheating, and he did go and make a baby with someone else. My uncle said the baby is a good reason to work on letting it go because she needs more family. I told my uncle to drop it because I will never want either my dad or the baby in my life. He told me I was old enough to be more mature and less of an a-hole to the innocent, and at an age where I should stay out of my parents' relationship. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. This: dad lost his affair partner and was saddled with a baby and wants to play happy family in a house that he single-handedly nuked. OP not the a-hole, but dad sure is. The way my dad keeps trying to get mom to take him back just shows us why we need to keep him far away. He doesn't care about mom's feelings, and he might not even care if his baby would be loved and wanted, or if she'd be hated and rejected as long as he can get back in. He's taking a huge risk with her by asking mom, because why would she love and want that baby? But maybe that's not a big deal to him. He wants a babysitter and someone to take care of the child because he doesn't want to. Your father should have considered the repercussions before deciding to cheat on your mother. Not the a-hole. It would have been a wise move on his part, but he doesn't seem too capable of those. Not the a-hole. How are you and your mom doing? He cheated with his friend's sister, so I'm assuming your dad knows that family, and they should provide family support. And he clearly has a brother that's okay with infidelity, so that's one more person for his daughter's family unit. And none of them are you and your mom. I wish you and your mom the best. My mom's really stressed because dad won't leave her alone. I know she called the cops twice and went to a lawyer to see what she could do to keep him away. Right now, that's nothing. They don't want to know. I'm doing okay, disgusted with him and trying to be there for mom, and I feel awful she's dealing with his manipulative attempts to win her back. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to be the default babysitter just because I'm the only one in the family without kids? I'm 27 female, and I'm the youngest in my family. I have 2 older sisters, both in their 30s, who each have 2 kids. Every family get-together lately has turned into, Can you just watch the kids for a bit while we catch up? And a bit somehow becomes the entire afternoon. I love my nieces and nephews, but I don't go to family events to be a free babysitter, while everyone else relaxes with a glass of wine and talks about Bridgerton. I just want to eat some food and gossip with the adults too. Last weekend, I came to a barbecue, and the second I walked in, I got handed a diaper bag and told, "You're on kid duty." I literally hadn't even taken off my shoes yet. So this time, I said, "Nope, not today," and just sat down with my plate of food like everyone else. Cue the drama. One sister said I was being selfish and don't understand what it's like being a mom. The other tried to guilt trip me with, "You have no responsibilities. You should help." Huh? Because I'm single and child-free, I owe them free childcare? Now the group chat is cold, and my mom says I could have helped a little to keep the peace. But I feel like if I keep saying yes, they'll never stop treating me like the built-in babysitter. I wasn't rude, I just said no. Am I the a-hole for drawing a line? You're within your rights to keep saying no. Your sisters are being ridiculous. No is a complete sentence. Your mom is wrong for encouraging you to essentially be a doormat. Even if they needed help, there are better ways to ask for it rather than being D-heads. You're not the free family slave because you have no kids. Thanks for this. Honestly, that line, "no is a complete sentence," hit me hard. I've always felt kind of pressured to just smile and go with it because I didn't want to start drama. But I'm realizing now that keeping the peace shouldn't always come at my expense. And yep, the way they just expect it now is what really bugged me. I wouldn't mind helping if they actually asked nicely and didn't treat me like the built-in nanny. Appreciate your comment. It made me feel way less crazy for finally saying no. Maybe their husbands should have stepped up. Yes, dads can parent too. You know, I just don't get it. When my kids were young, adults now, if we went to a get-together, we both kept an eye on them. We had a loose rule that if my family, he'd step up more if I wanted a drink and vice versa. And all my siblings were the same. And in our in-law families as well, everyone I knew behaved this way. And that was in the 90s and early 2000s. I didn't think we were ahead of our time, so I don't understand fathers now that just don't step up. I could have helped a little to keep the peace. Why is it that in order to keep the peace means I have to bend over? Everyone else is peaceful when I'm raging internally. Peace comes when it's at my expense. F that. You all can watch your own damned kids, not the a-hole. Oh my god, yes, that part hit me hard. Keep the peace basically just meant don't rock the boat, even if you're drowning quietly. It's always on the easygoing one to suck it up. I swear if I had $1 every time I was expected to be the chill one just so others could have it easier, I'd be rich and babysitter free, haha. Thank you for getting it. It's honestly so validating to know I'm not crazy for setting one small boundary. Is there any reason your mom couldn't help out to keep the peace? Because mom and dad want to catch up with their girls, and they can't do that with kids in the way. And OP doesn't count because she's still a teen. I know she's not, but to her parents she is, and she hasn't started a family yet. I bet if we keep giving her the kiddos, she'll see the error of her ways and start popping out grandkids for us. We'll teach her. Probably OP's parents' thoughts. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to change my plans for my sister's wedding anniversary? I'm a university student, and I moved to a bigger town 3 years ago. All my family stayed in my small town. Last year, I didn't visit them during summer vacation because I got a part-time job and wanted to raise some money. That same year, in August, my sister got married. I was not invited, and no one even texted me about it until a week later, when my mom asked, "Why didn't you congratulate her?" Then I explained to her that I had no idea she got married. A few months later, I learned that my aunt and sister still think I did it on purpose because I knew she was pregnant. I learned about her pregnancy from my mother too, because she, again, asked why I didn't congratulate her, and that I could have asked when the wedding would be. Also because my sister published photos from her wedding on her social media. This year, I was denied an internship and decided not to get a part-time job and to visit my family, because next summer I will try and apply for internships again. My sister said that since I'm here this summer, she would like me to attend her anniversary party and implied she wants to receive a gift. I said I can't attend because my plane leaves on August 20th. She suggested I buy another ticket and refund this one because she's inviting me a month in advance. And I was supposed to be considerate of her wedding anniversary when I bought my tickets. My attempt to explain that I already have other plans after August 20th with my friends, and that I bought tickets for those dates for a reason, fell on deaf ears. Now she's telling everyone that I bought tickets before her anniversary on purpose just to avoid attending and congratulating her, just like I did last year with her delivery date and wedding, all of which I learned about from my mother weeks after they actually took place. Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. How are you supposed to attend an event no one tells you about? Now they are spreading lies about you. Ignore them all. Go have fun with your friends. I would consider the sister as an enemy at this point. After all, she is going around setting the OP up in order to make false accusations. I suspect she has some underlying perceived hang-up about OP. Not the a-hole. If someone doesn't invite you to an event, they, and their relatives, shouldn't comment on the fact you don't attend. I had a relative who did exactly that to me. It was such a shame that you didn't attend daughter's wedding. So few people from your side did. I just replied, puzzled but not offended or angry. But I wasn't invited. End of story. You can also have previous plans even if you are invited. You can tell your sister and anyone who repeats her complaints to you that, unfortunately, you had previous plans that could not be changed. Don't argue or debate the point. Just move on. Years ago, Uncle had party for cousins that my sibling and I found out about. When we saw everyone, including our step-sibling, tagged in photos on social media. It came up when I ran into one of them a few months later, and I flatly said I had no idea about it beyond seeing photos. Apparently, Bio-Dad told everyone he invited us and that we couldn't be bothered to attend. Cousin's mom has made it a point to keep us in the loop ever since that event. Not the a-hole. I firmly think that wedding anniversaries are between the couple, even big ones. They are not public celebrations where everyone needs to be in attendance. There is something really classless about asking other people to show up to celebrate your relationship. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not making sure my niece got on the plane home? My cousin's wedding was yesterday. Early this morning, we all left on our flights back home. Several of us had the same flights back. We had standby seats though, so we had to wait to the end to board. We also had one layover. We all got on the first flight no problem. Second flight everyone got on, except my sister's daughter Rachel, 18 female. We didn't find out until we all got off the flight that she didn't get on, and there were a bunch of texts from her saying she didn't know what to do. So her parents were all trying to figure out what to do, but the next flight in isn't until tomorrow, and they can't get her a hotel room because they require someone older to check in. So she's stuck alone in the airport terminal until the next flight. My sister, Rachel's mom, and dad think it's my fault because I was the last one called to board the plane. They think that I should have gone up and offered to let her have my seat first since she's basically still a kid and hasn't traveled on her own before. To be honest, I didn't even notice her there or who was left because I wasn't feeling great because I was hungover from the wedding, so I had my eyes closed the whole time and was just listening for my name and not really paying attention to who else had already been called. They all knew I was feeling bad too because they were making fun of me for it earlier. Still, they think I should have noticed that Rachel was still sitting there alone, but at the time, I just wanted to quickly get to my seat so I could sit down and close my eyes. Also, they're mad because they think that I had even confirmed that Rachel got on because when I passed by my sister and nephew's aisle, she asked, "All good?" and I gave her a thumbs up. I thought she was just asking if I was feeling okay, not asking if Rachel also got on. I kind of wonder why I ended up being the one responsible for her just because I was the last one there, which I asked them about because any of them could have asked if Rachel could take their seat first, but they said no because they all had work the next day while I didn't. Kevin's parents should know better, not the a-hole. Her parents were on the plane, and they didn't make sure she was, and they are looking for somewhere to point an accusing finger, not the a-hole. Her mom, my sister, wasn't boarded first with her underage children. Her dad, brother-in-law, didn't travel for the wedding. My other sister and cousin were also on the flight, though. Her mom left her there and did not tell you to look after her. She's just trying to pass the blame. Exactly. Mom is responsible for her own kids. If her name gets called first and she has to take the younger kids to board, she walks with her 18-year-old daughter over to OP and explains the situation. Seriously, 18-year-olds should have been coached on what to do if we're separated, since they all had standby seats. Or, mom gives her seat to the 18-year-old. The minor children are the 18-year-old's siblings, correct? 18 is an adult. She can accompany the minors, especially since there are other relatives on the plane who can assist the 18-year-old at the arrival airport. Not OP's fault that his sister planned poorly and flew herself and her kids standby when she had work the next day. Poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. Not the a-hole. Mom, 1, was being selfish by not giving her seat to her daughter, and 2, is trying to pass the buck on to OP. If she's not old enough to handle making her flights, her parents should have went with her. Not your responsibility to pick up the slack. They were on the flight, and so was her brother apparently. OP must be the family scapegoat. To be honest, until I was 21, I had a very difficult time getting a hotel room. A lot of places don't like to check anyone under 21 in. When I was 18, it took a partner and I 6 different hotels to find one that would let us stay on a road trip, because neither of us were 21.